What happens when a royal guest mistakes a talk show for a throne room? It only took one comment about working mothers for everything to explode on live television. The studio lights were bright that morning. The audience sat waiting. Joy Behar took her seat at the table. The other hosts smiled at the cameras. Everyone knew this was going to be a big episode. The guest walking onto that stage was known around the world. Meghan Markle entered, wearing a cream-colored suit. She waved at the crowd. They clapped. She sat down at the table. Joy started the conversation, like she always does. Friendly. Warm. "Welcome to The View. We're so excited to have you here today." Meghan smiled. "Thank you for having me. It's wonderful to be here." The first few minutes went smoothly. They talked about charity work. They discussed life in California. And the audience seemed engaged. Everything felt normal. Joy asked about recent projects. Meghan talked about a podcast she was developing. She mentioned a book deal. She spoke about partnerships with various companies. "It sounds like you're keeping very busy," Joy said with genuine interest. "I am," Meghan replied. "I believe in using my voice for good, for change, for making a real difference in the world." The other hosts nodded along. One of them asked about adjusting to life in America again. Meghan talked about the weather, about missing certain things, about finding new favorite restaurants. It all seemed pleasant enough. But then Joy asked a simple question. A question she asks every guest. "So tell us, what's a normal day like for you now?" Meghan's face changed. Her smile became tight. "Well, Joy, I'm not sure you could understand. My life is quite different from most people's lives." Joy laughed it off. "We'd love to hear about it. That's why you're here. I wake up in our home. I spend time with my children. I work on projects that matter. Important projects. Not everyone has the platform I have." The other hosts glanced at each other. Something felt off about the answer. It felt rehearsed, distant. Joy kept her professional smile. "That's great. A lot of our viewers are also working parents. They juggle kids and careers, too." Meghan leaned forward. Her posture changed. Her voice took on a different tone. "I don't think you can compare what I do to regular working mothers, Joy. The pressure I face is completely different. The scrutiny, the expectations, the weight of representation. And it's not the same thing at all." The audience went quiet. You could feel the temperature in the room change. Joy's smile faded just a little. "I think all working mothers face pressure and scrutiny in their own ways." "But not like me," Meghan interrupted. "You wouldn't understand. None of you would. You haven't lived my life. You haven't walked in my shoes. You haven't had to smile through pain the way I have." Joy took a breath. She's handled difficult guests before. She's dealt with celebrities who got defensive. She's managed heated political debates. She stayed calm. "You're right. We haven't lived your life. But we do understand hard work and balancing responsibilities. We all have our own challenges." Meghan shook her head slowly, like a teacher disappointed in a student. "I really don't think you do. I mean, now look at where I came from. Look at what I've accomplished. Look at the odds I've overcome. I married into royalty. Do you know how few people can say that? Do you know what that takes?" One of the other hosts tried to jump in. "It must have been quite an adjustment." "An adjustment?" Meghan's voice got louder. People in the front row of the audience leaned back slightly. "It was a complete transformation. I had to give up everything. My career, my freedom, my identity, my sense of self. And for what? To be criticized constantly? To be torn apart by the press? To be abandoned by people who claim to love me?" Joy nodded slowly. She was trying to keep things on track. "That does sound difficult. Nobody's denying that. But you also gained a global platform. You've been able to advocate for causes you care about. Dissy, you have influence that most people could only dream of." "Are you saying I should be grateful?" Meghan's eyes narrowed dangerously. Her jaw clenched. Is that what you're implying right now? That I should just be thankful and quiet? No, I'm saying that every situation has challenges and opportunities. Joy kept her voice steady, professional. She'd been doing this for decades. I'm saying that life is complicated, that multiple things can be true at once. Meghan laughed. It wasn't a friendly laugh. It was bitter. Sharp. Spoken like someone who has never had to deal with real adversity, real hardship, real trauma. You sit here at this table every day. You read from cards. You chat with guests. You go home to your comfortable life. That's not real work. That's not real struggle. The audience gasped. Some people put their hands over their mouths. Joy's co-hosts looked shocked. Their faces showed disbelief. Joy sat up straighter. Her expression hardened. I've been working in television for decades. I started from nothing. I've worked very hard to get where I am. I've earned my place at this table. Hard work? Meghan's voice dripped with sarcasm. She practically spat the words. You don't know what hard work is. You really don't. Try being chased by photographers every single day. Try having every word you say analyzed and twisted and turned into headlines. Try having your own family turn against you. Try being vilified for simply existing. Try being blamed for everything that goes wrong. Many people deal with family issues, Joy said quietly. Her voice was controlled, but you could hear the edge. That's not unique to you. Families are complicated for everyone. Oh, here we go. Meghan threw her hands up in exasperation. Everyone thinks they know what I've been through. Everyone has an opinion about my life. Everyone thinks they understand. But you don't know anything. You sit here in your comfortable studio with your comfortable job and your comfortable life. You have no idea what I face every single day. Joy's patience was wearing thin. You could see it in her eyes. You could hear it in the slight change in her voice. Meghan, I invited you here for a conversation, for a dialogue, for an exchange of ideas, not to be insulted, not to have my work dismissed, not to be talked down to. Insulted? Meghan stood up slightly in her chair. Her body language was aggressive now. I'm the one who should feel insulted. I'm the one being attacked right now. You asked me here, and now you're dismissing everything I've experienced. You're minimizing my struggles. You're trying to make me look bad. This is exactly what the media always does to me. I'm not minimizing anything. I'm not attacking you. I'm trying to have a balanced discussion. Joy's voice had an edge now, clear and sharp. I'm trying to point out that other people have valid experiences too, that you're not the only person who's ever struggled. Balanced? Meghan let out another harsh laugh. Nothing about my treatment has ever been balanced. Nothing has ever been fair. The media tore me apart for years. My own family abandoned me when I needed them most. And now, you sit here trying to lecture me about perspective? Trying to tell me how to feel? I'm not lecturing you. I'm pointing out that other people have struggles too. That suffering isn't a competition. That we all deserve respect and recognition for what we go through. Joy was done being gentle. Done tiptoeing around feelings. Not like mine, Meghan insisted. Her voice was rising. My struggles are different. They're bigger, more important, more significant. The whole world is affected by what happens to me. Joy leaned forward. Her eyes locked on Meghan's. Why are they more important? Because you're famous? Because you married a prince? Because you have money and connections? Why does that make your pain more valid than anyone else's? Because the whole world is watching. Meghan's voice echoed through the studio. The sound bounced off the walls. Everything I do matters. Everything I say becomes international news. Everything I wear gets analyzed. You can make mistakes, and nobody cares. I can't afford that luxury. I don't have that freedom. Every move I make is scrutinized by millions of people. That's not fair and you know it, Joy shot back. Her voice was firm now, strong. Everyone here works hard. Everyone here has faced criticism. Everyone here has been judged. You don't have a monopoly on difficulty. You don't get to dismiss everyone else's experiences just because yours are public. Meghan stood up completely now. Her chair scraped against the floor. The sound was harsh in the quiet studio. I don't have to sit here and listen to this. I don't have to tolerate this treatment. I came here thinking I'd have a supportive conversation, a safe space to share my story. Instead, you're attacking me. You're ganging up on me. Mott, you're trying to tear me down like everyone else does. Nobody's attacking you. Joy remained seated, calm, composed, in control. You're the one who came out insulting everyone's work and dismissing their experiences. You're the one who said our jobs aren't real work. You're the one who implied that our lives don't matter as much as yours. Because you don't understand. Meghan's hands gestured wildly now. She was losing her composure completely. None of you understand what it's like to be me, to have the weight of the world on your shoulders, to be a voice for the voiceless, to represent millions of people, to carry that responsibility every single day. A voice for the voiceless? Joy raised her eyebrows. Her tone was skeptical now. Meghan, you live in a mansion in Montecito, a multi-million-dollar estate. You have millions of dollars in the bank. You have security. You have staff. You have every privilege imaginable. You have access to resources that 99% of the world will never have. Privilege? Meghan's face turned red. Her eyes widened. You think I'm privileged? After everything I've been through? After all the racism I've experienced? The sexism? The abuse? The mistreatment? You're going to stand there and call me privileged? I'm not saying you haven't faced real challenges, Joy said carefully. She chose each word deliberately. I'm not dismissing the discrimination you've experienced. I'm saying that you also have resources and advantages that most people don't have. Both things can be true. You can have suffered and still be privileged. Those aren't mutually exclusive. No. Meghan shook her head violently. Her hair swung around her shoulders. You're trying to diminish what I've experienced. You're trying to make it seem less than. You're part of the problem. The media is always part of the problem. You build people up just to tear them down. You pretend to care, but you don't. You just want a story. You just want drama. We're not the media that hurt you, one of the other hosts said, gently. She spoke softly, trying to de-escalate. We're just trying to have a conversation. We're trying to understand your perspective while also sharing our own. Meghan turned to her sharply. Don't patronize me. I know what this is. I can see right through it. This is an ambush, a setup. You brought me here to make me look bad, to humiliate me on national television, to add to the pile of people who want to see me fail. Joy stood up now. She'd had enough. We brought you here because you asked to come on. Your team reached out to us. You wanted to promote your projects. You wanted a platform to share your message. We've been nothing but welcoming since you walked through that door. We offered you water. We made you comfortable. We smiled and laughed with you. This hostility is coming from you. Welcoming? Meghan's voice got shrill, high-pitched, strained. You call this welcoming? You've been hostile from the start. Questioning me, challenging me, comparing me to ordinary people, trying to make me seem ungrateful, trying to paint me as the villain when I'm the victim here. Ordinary people? Joy repeated the phrase slowly. She wanted everyone to hear it clearly. Do you hear yourself right now? Do you realize what you're saying? Yes. Ordinary people, Meghan said defiantly. She lifted her chin. People who don't have to deal with what I deal with. People who can live their lives in peace. Private lives. Anonymous lives. Normal lives. They don't understand what it's like to live under a microscope, to have every breath analyzed, to have every choice questioned. You chose to be in the public eye, Joy reminded her. Her voice was steady but firm. You chose to marry into the royal family. You chose to do interviews and write books and go on podcasts. You chose to stay in the spotlight even after you said you wanted privacy. Nobody forced you to do any of that. I had no choice, Meghan shouted. The words burst out of her. I had to tell my truth. I had to defend myself. I had to fight back against the lies. What was I supposed to do? Just stay silent? Just let them destroy me? Just let them control the narrative? Then let other people tell their truths too, Joy said firmly. She wasn't backing down. Including the truth that hard work isn't exclusive to you, that suffering isn't exclusive to you, that pain isn't exclusive to you, that you don't get to dismiss everyone else's experiences just because they're not as famous as you, that you don't get to act like their lives don't count. Meghan grabbed her purse from beside the chair. Her movements were jerky, angry. I'm done here. I'm finished with this conversation. I don't need this. I don't need you. I don't need this show. I have plenty of other platforms that actually respect me, that actually understand me, that actually treat me with the dignity I deserve. We do respect you, Joy said. The words came out measured, indeliberate. But respect goes both ways. It's not a one-way street. You came here and disrespected everyone at this table, everyone who works on this show, everyone in this audience, every working mother watching at home, every person who juggles multiple responsibilities and tries their best every day. That's not what I did. Meghan's voice trembled. You couldn't tell if it was from anger or something else. Maybe hurt. Maybe realization. That's exactly what you did, Joy said calmly. She maintained eye contact. From the moment I asked you about your day, you've been telling us that we're beneath you, that our work doesn't matter, that our struggles aren't real, that our lives are somehow less than yours, less important, less meaningful, less worthy of acknowledgement. Because they are, Meghan blurted out. The words came out before she could stop them. Then she stopped. Her eyes went wide. Her mouth opened slightly. She realized what she'd just said, what she'd just admitted on live television. The studio went completely silent. Not a sound. Not a cough. Not a shuffle. The audience stared with their mouths open. The cameras kept rolling, capturing every second. The other hosts looked at each other in disbelief. Nobody could believe what they'd just heard. It was the kind of moment that would be replayed over and over. Joy spoke slowly, each word clear and distinct. I think you should leave now. Fine. Meghan's chin lifted. She tried to regain her composure, to look dignified. I'll leave, but you'll regret this. You'll all regret this. Every single one of you. Do you know who I am? Do you have any idea who you're dealing with? Do you understand the consequences of treating me this way? Yes, Joy said quietly. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. We know exactly who you are, and I think America just saw it too. I think everyone watching at home just got a very clear picture of exactly who you are. Meghan turned toward the exit. Her heels clicked loudly on the floor. Each step echoed through the silent studio. She stopped suddenly and turned back around. She couldn't help herself. She had to have the last word. You're all just jealous. Every single one of you. Jealous of what I have. Jealous of who I am. Jealous of my life. Jealous that I escaped and found happiness. Jealous that I'm living the life you wish you could have. If you're so happy, Joy called after her. The question hung in the air. Why are you so angry? Why are you so defensive? Why do you feel the need to tear everyone else down? Happy people don't act like this. Meghan didn't answer. She couldn't answer. She just stormed off the stage. Her face was flushed. Her hands were shaking. A producer tried to talk to her in the wings. She brushed past him without even looking. Another staff member approached carefully. She ignored them too. She pushed through the backstage area. She walked straight out of the studio without stopping, without looking back, without acknowledging anyone. Back at the table, Joy sat down slowly. She took a deep breath. She exhaled. The audience didn't know whether to clap or stay quiet. Some people wanted to applaud. Others felt uncomfortable. The tension was thick. Joy looked directly at the camera. Her expression was serious. Well, that was something. That was certainly something. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. The commercial break started. The lights dimmed slightly, but the audience could see what happened during it. They could hear the conversation. Joy turned to her co-hosts. Her hands were shaking slightly. Did that really just happen? Did she really say that? I can't believe she said that about working mothers, one host whispered. She looked shaken. I have 3 kids. I work full-time. How dare she? I can't believe she said our lives are less than hers, another added. Her voice was tight. Like we don't matter. Like we're not real people with real struggles. Joy shook her head. She ran her fingers through her hair. I've interviewed a lot of people, thousands of people over the years. I've had disagreements on air before. I've dealt with difficult personalities, but I've never had someone come on and just openly dismiss everyone like that. Just completely disregard everyone's humanity like that. She seemed so angry, someone said quietly, like she was just waiting for a reason to explode, like she came in looking for a fight. She was defensive from the start, Joy replied. She was processing it all. Like she came in expecting a fight, expecting to be attacked, and then she created exactly what she was afraid of. She made it happen. Like she came in expecting a fight. The producer walked over quickly. He looked concerned, worried about what to do next. Are we addressing this when we come back? Do you want to say something? Joy thought for a moment. She considered her options. Briefly. We'll address it briefly. Then we move on. We don't need to dwell on it. We don't need to beat a dead horse. But we do need to acknowledge what just happened. The break ended. The cameras came back on. Joy looked at the audience. So that happened. Our guest decided to leave. We respect her decision. But I want to say something to everyone watching at home. She paused. The studio was quiet again. If you're a working parent, your struggles matter. If you're balancing a career and a family, that's real work. If you're dealing with difficult family situations, your pain is valid. Nobody gets to tell you that your life is less important than theirs. Nobody. The audience erupted in applause. They stood up. Joy smiled sadly. We all have our battles. We all face challenges. Some of us have more public lives than others. But that doesn't make anyone's experience more or less valid. We're all just trying to do our best. More applause. Joy waited for it to die down. Now, we have another guest waiting backstage. Someone who actually wants to have a conversation. Let's bring them out. The show continued. The new guest came out. They had a lovely interview. They laughed. They shared stories. It was what The View was supposed to be. But nobody in that audience would forget what they just witnessed. The moment when a guest confused confidence with superiority. When privilege blinded someone to their own behavior. In the control room, the director was already on the phone. The producers were talking quickly. They knew this would be everywhere within hours. Every news outlet would cover it. Every social media platform would discuss it. Back at the table, Joy wrapped up the show like she always does. Professional. Poised. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. The cameras turned off. The audience filed out. The hosts stood up and hugged each other. You handled that perfectly, one host told Joy. I just tried to be honest, Joy said. I wasn't going to let her talk down to everyone like that. She really thought she could come here and act that way, another host marveled. Some people think fame means they're untouchable, Joy replied. that they can say anything to anyone, but not here, not at this table. The crew started breaking down the set. The lights dimmed. Another episode was done. But this one would be remembered. Because it wasn't just about one difficult guest. It was about respect, about equality, about recognizing that every person's journey matters. Joy gathered her things. She'd been doing this job for years. She'd seen celebrities come and go, but she'd never seen someone quite so determined to alienate everyone around them. As she walked to her dressing room, staff members stopped her. "That was amazing," they said. "Thank you for standing up for us." "Of course," Joy smiled. "We're a team here. We all matter." In her dressing room, Joy sat down. She looked at herself in the mirror. She'd handled hundreds of difficult situations on air. This was just another one. But it stung a little, because she genuinely wanted to have a good conversation. Instead, it had turned into something ugly, something unnecessary, all because one person couldn't see past their own reflection. Joy's phone buzzed. Messages were flooding in, supportive messages, from colleagues, from friends, from viewers. Everyone saw what happened. Everyone understood. She put her phone down. Tomorrow, there would be more shows, more guests, more conversations. That's how it works in this business. You move forward. You don't dwell. But tonight, she'd remember this moment. The moment she had to ask a guest to leave. The moment she had to draw a line. The moment she chose to stand up for everyone who works hard and deserves respect. Because at the end of the day, that's what matters. Not the titles, not the fame, not the mansions or the royal connections. What matters is how you treat people, how you see others, how you recognize that we're all human beings trying to navigate this complicated world. And anyone who can't understand that, royal or not, doesn't belong at the table.